Hello and welcome to Pompey Talk in partnership with Jan Leap. My name is Mark McMahon and joining us in the studio today to discuss Pompey's 1-0 victory at Leyton Orient is News Chief Sports Writer Neil Allen. Neil, before we get your thoughts on the game, let's have a look and see what Paul Cook said after the game on Saturday.
Paul Cook, Paul, after some recent away form, you must be delighted with the 3 points.
I'm just really pleased with how the lads played, Niall, I really am. It's football's about how you play. I've said for ages, even to you guys this week, you must have an identity. We had one today. We were hungry. Our lads worked so hard to put them under pressure. You know, we must press from the front. Last week against Doncaster, we didn't start the game for 15, 20 minutes. We started today. We really did. Really pleased for the lads, for all of them.
A couple of changes to the starting 11. Leyton comes in, Kyle Bennett comes in, and they did well.
That's such 2 players outstanding, especially Kyle more so than Amin. I think Amin's been very patient, waiting for his chance. I've got such confidence and faith in Kyle Bennett. He's such a good lad around the club. He's matured as a person so much in his life. He's got a lovely family. He's a great kid to work with. If he had that end product and scored more goals, he would not be playing at this level. What he does around the pitch, he must get on the ball more and keep working and being good at what he does. I thought he was excellent today.
And that too shows the depth of your squad, that you can chop and change like that, and it doesn't really make too much of a difference. You get the result.
Just pleased. Just pleased. Just keep going. Keep believing in what you do. It's a long season. You know, there's plenty of ups and downs for everyone. We had a bit of a down last week, and everyone goes flat. This week we have it up. My job's just to maintain our standards at the club and how hard we work in relation to the Plymouth game next week.
So Neil, an important win for Pompey at the end of the day in the grand scheme of things, keeping the points deficit down to Plymouth and also their second away league win of the season.
Yeah, bearing in mind they'd lost the previous 2 league games. They got a game against Plymouth coming up, who are top of the league, runaway leaders at the moment. It would have been unthinkable if Pompey would have lost another game before that fixture. So it's an important victory, but also just as important as a clean sheet. Pompey's defence have been poor in recent weeks, made some shocking mistakes, which have been punished for. So to get the clean sheet and the win, and an away win, and hurrah, coming from a corner, set piece, Pompey don't do very well for set pieces, all were there. And perhaps all those little things were more important than actually how they performed. It was an okay performance, workmanlike. They didn't look like losing, they were very comfortable, but the outcome was crucial.
Yeah, well, Paul Cook wasn't shy in offering his praise for the players afterwards.
Yeah, they gave everything, absolutely everything. The work rate was tremendous. Gary Roberts up front, or behind the striker pushing up, he just ran himself in the ground. He was absolutely everywhere. They were closing Orient down from the front, and the tempo was high as well. So that's what he wanted. That's when Pompey are best, when the tempo's high, and that's why they had at the weekend. That they gave so much into it. They should have scored a few more goals perhaps in the first half. So there was only 1 goal in it, but they deserved it for their work rate alone and the attitude, and to get a clean sheet as well.
Well, he made 2 changes to his starting lineup with Leyton and Bennett coming in for Rose and Naismith. How did that there work? Were you surprised by that there beforehand as well?
Yeah, in fairness to Bennett, for those who were there in the Checker Trade Trophy, which not many of us were, he had a really good game. Really good game, and he got an assist. And Bennett's not broken into the first team off this season. It's been disappointing, but he still had 3 assists. Whereas Naismith was in the previous 3 games in the league, and he hadn't created anything, he hadn't got an assist. Bennett can get you that. So he thought he put Bennett in for that one. And Leyton, he thought he'd change it around with Rose. And Leyton, we've seen him a few times in reserves, in the Checker Trade, in cup competitions, starting games. And he gives you that energy. He's very powerful. Perhaps not the best in the air, as we saw with a miss he made in the first half, but it's just something different. And he worked really, really well.
Right, okay. And is the jury still out in Kyle Bennett? Which seems slightly unfair. But he seems to have got the big boys out from at times.
Some fans will never be convinced by him, despite the goals he scores, the assists he makes. Some people will never be convinced. What's the phrase? Haters will always hate. It will never win them over. But he creates, and Saturday he did ever so well. He tucked in a little bit. Wasn't quite so much on the wing, tucked in central a bit more, with Roberts pushing on, and he caused a lot of problems. He's got on the ball a lot more, and he's always bright. He always wants to create. He's fearless really on the ball. Even if he gives it away, he tries to win it back, and that's what. But he can create, and Pompey have had players that can't create. McGurk is another one who scored a few goals last year, then didn't get goal or assist after Christmas. Bennett creates goals.
He does that there, yeah. Well, you mentioned the set pieces earlier too. It was good to see a set piece coming off, especially when Pompey have been putting a bit of effort in on the training ground in that respect.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a part of Pompey's plan that it really comes off, is it, set piece play? But it was a really good. There's now a situation where Roberts takes the corners from the right hand side. Baker in the last couple of games has started taking them from the left hand side, and Baker's delivery has been really good. And that one was a great corner, wasn't it? With Burgess heading it in. Now, Pompey don't get many. There was a few years ago, I do remember when Bonds and Gala scored twice with Ricky Holmes corners. Yeah. But other than that, they've not really been dangerous from set pieces. And they've swapped it around. Naismith's had a go, Bennett has had a go, Laukovic had a go. They've all swapped it around from corners. Danny Rose hasn't had a go yet, but he took them all for Oxford and Northampton when he was there. So finally, Pompey gets something from a corner. And Burgess scored a few goals for Pompey before, but they've been a bit debatable whether he got the final touch, but he definitely got a proper header in for that one.
Yeah, okay. Well, what about Connor Chapman? We can't pass up the opportunity to talk about his finish and the goal that was effectively offside. Now, I've only seen it on the TV highlights. Was he offside? And if it was still a terrific finish.
It was a tremendous finish, and it looked like, for me, the guy was behind him the whole way, but you got to see the proper angles and the angle from the lines. But it's all very well saying it didn't look offside on the replay, but you want to see it straight, don't you? Which I was not in line, but it was a shock because they, as in Orient, thought it had gone in as well. No one appealed for offside. It was a beautiful finish, and it's a very early ball put in as well.
Yeah.
So the earlier the ball put in, the better, and it was an early ball put in.
Yeah. And
you thought he's onside here, but he plays right on the shoulder, Connor, and on that occasion it was ruled offside. Yeah.
Okay. Talking about Paul Cook earlier, in the back of today's paper, he's talking about the importance of Saturday's win, saying it was important just for a game to close the gap in Plymouth, etc. But he also mentioned, and I'm quite curious, how did this bring up? He also mentioned that he wasn't feeling the heat as the manager. It wasn't important for him as the manager of Portsmouth Football Club. What brought that conversation on?
I don't know. I didn't have it.
Was it not yourself, right? Well, he obviously they mentioned that the win wasn't just important for the club, and it wasn't important for him as the manager. Do you think he has been feeling the heat in previous weeks?
Not really, but Pompey at the moment, I think they've lost 4 of the opening 11 league games before Orient, which is a massive concern because Pompey are expected to get promotion yet again. So again, he can't afford to lose at Orient. And then potentially lose at Plymouth, which could happen. That'd be 6 in 13 games?
Yeah.
But they won the game. They deserve to win the game. They go to Plymouth with renewed confidence on the back of a clean sheet, and hopefully they can get something from Plymouth like they did last year.
Yeah.
And Pompey did really well for sides up there last year. I think they beat 3 of the 4 promoted sides last year away from home. That's what they need to get back to again.
And obviously there's no game this week, so there's no midweek game, this week, so the Pompey can fully prepare for that game and go there with the intent of getting the result at Plymouth as well then?
Yeah, they can prepare for that, and they're okay for injuries at the moment as well, so that's not an issue. But and plan for Plymouth, and they're a bit of a bogey team, aren't they? They've become great. It's not a dockyard derby, forget all that rubbish, but it's become a bit of a niggly rivalry, isn't it, really, from last year and the antics, and Pompey will be desperate to get something from this game.
Yeah. Okay, just finally, Pompey 4th in the table, 20 points from 12 games. Do you reckon Paul Cook would have taken that at the start of the season?
Probably not. They're there and thereabouts, which is good. So that's okay. But this time last year, Pompey was at the top of the league, didn't they?
Yeah.
And They score goals now, Pompey. There's not many games where they haven't scored, but they've been leaking them in a lot as well.
Yeah.
And there seems to be a team that's like all nothing, win a game or lose a game. There's nothing in between at the moment. But we all expect hope Pompey get promotion because they've got the squad enough to do it.
Okay. Well, Nate, thanks for your thoughts. You'll be watching Pompey Talk in partnership with Jan Leap. We'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.